Top stories making headlines. Child's president urges compassion on World Children's Day. UDC retains Kgalagadi South constituency. BIBF and BICA Inc. MOU to better training. South African authorities under fire after 150 Palestinians stranded on plane for hours. Mbappe, PSG to start court battle over pay dispute. Welcome to Lesedi Television News. It is a great pleasure to be with you tonight. I am Botsang Molefe. World Children's Day was commemorated on 15 November 2025 under the theme My Day, My Right, From Promises to Action. This year's observance highlighted the continued commitment to advancing children's rights, protection and well-being across the continent. Notably, participation has grown significantly with the number of countries involved rising from 4 to 9 African nations from the Southern African region, and this reflecting a strengthened regional movement dedicated to turning policy commitments into tangible improvements. Botswana's child president, Her Excellency Ms. Aumake Musonda began the ceremony by observing a moment of silence for children who are no longer with us due to violence, malnutrition, and other preventable causes. She emphasized that it is every child's right to be protected and commended leaders for the increase in participating countries.
Allow me to, in a special way, to recognize our friends from the Southern African region by saying Tobera, Sanibonani, Heisi, Walelabu, Mulishiani, Ola, Dumeran. And to extend a very happy World Children's Day to all the children here present and those who are watching us through the media platforms. Happy World Children's Day. But before I can continue, please kindly rise as we observe a moment of silence for all the children in Southern Africa who we have lost at the hands of violence, at the hands of violence against young people in our region, at the hands of those who come into our lives causing diseases, malnutrition. Let us all rise as we observe a moment of silence for these children. On this day of our rights, where we celebrate the young African child, and we say to you that this is your day, your rights, worthy to be valued, worthy to be protected, worthy to be respected. Honorable Speaker, today marks a very special milestone to the lives of children from our countries, as we meet yet again to commemorate the 2025 World Children's Day under the theme, My Day, My Rights, From Promises to Actions. I must commend our leaders for allowing this circle of participating countries to increase from a number of 4 countries to now 9 countries in the Southern African region. That is something we can. But I just wish that one day we could unite the entire African continent for children to commemorate this day all together, to thrive for young people who are dedicated and leading this country and this continent to a better future. Today's theme calls upon our governments, development partners, civil society organization, the private sector, community leaders, communities and every one of us to create a safe environment for children through every stage of their lives. It's not only the responsibility of our leaders, but it is our responsibility, me and you.
The Umbrella for Democratic Change, UDC, Tokyo Modise, is the new Member of Parliament elect for Kgalagadi South constituency after garnering 6,766 votes to win the by-elections held on November 15th. Diana Katz of Botswana Democratic Party came second with 3,926, while Sepam Brooks of Botswana Congress Party registered 946 votes. Kgalagadi South, an independent candidate, registered 116 votes, while Penyo Sidimunyane of Botswana Patriotic Front came last with 99 and 46 were spoiled votes. The constituency came vacant following the death of Mikas Shibombi in July 2025.
Hey Snapflash fam, big political waves out of Kgalagadi South. The UDC has just scored a massive by-election victory, and the message from voters? Clear, loud, and impossible to ignore. Tonight, we break down the numbers, the strategy, and what this means for Botswana's political map heading toward 2026. Tokyo Modise didn't just win, he dominated. 6,766 votes, a margin of more than 2,800 over the BDP. And the AP says this is proof that politics in Botswana is still won on the ground, not on Facebook. Stay with us, because this by-election just changed the conversation.
The Botswana Institute of Banking and Finance, BIBF, and the Botswana Institute of Chartered Accounts signed a memorandum of understanding meant to improve the standard of tertiary education in the country, especially the one with a bias towards accounting and cybersecurity. The BIBF Managing Director Molaudi Menyatso said the MOU meant more than just putting pen to paper. The BIBF has long been dedicated to elevating the standard of banking and finance education in Botswana, providing innovative training programs that equip professionals with the skills they need to thrive in an ever-evolving financial environment.
My name is Letlhogonolo Malebe. I am from the Botswana Institute of Chartered Accountants, and I work as the Director for Training and Professional Development. So today we went into a very, very exciting and beneficial collaborative partnership with BIBF, being the Botswana Institute of Banking and Finance. We saw it important to enter into this collaboration so that we can help develop the professions that we specifically work with, being the financial sector, accountants, the banking sector. And we realized that it was important for us to jointly work towards developing specific courses that we believe are important for the profession, being AML-related courses, data protection courses, and any other that we may see fit for our members. And we believe this is going to be a very, very good and beneficial relationship for both of us. I think firstly, the exciting thing for me is that this is a local collaboration. We believe that before you even explore international collaborations, you must also start home and find ways of enriching one another and learning from one another. So for me, the most important thing is this is focused on topical issues right now, where we know the data protection law was recently, as particularly this year, put out there for us to comply with, and also AML issues being in the cornerstone of what we do, and specifically as both institutions believe in ethical and professional practices. So we believe that this is very key and topical to what is happening right now.
Today we are actually signing a memorandum of understanding with our partners, Botswana Institute of Chartered Accountants. So basically what we are trying to do as the two entities. You might notice that both entities are membership driven. So the BICA is established by an Act of Parliament, but the BFBI is established through a collaboration by the banks. It's a bank-owned association intended to promote the banking profession. So we saw a lot of commonalities between the two institutes. And we strongly believe that because both entities are not necessarily profit-generating or profit-making entities, we thought we can leverage on our current resources, both in terms of human resources and the other resources, material resources, to ensure that we maximize our potential to deliver to our stakeholders. So at the end of the day, the main principle or the driving force behind our collaboration is to basically try to professionalize or groom more professionals within the finance sector. There's no doubt that accounting is a very key aspect of the economy. And obviously, banking is at the heartbeat of any economy.
The BICA CEO, Kgalagadi, praised the signing ceremony, saying the agreement formalizes the fundamental link and moves us from operating in parallel silos to a powerful collaborative force. The certified anti-money laundering officer and the certified data protection officer, these are not just the new courses. They are direct strategic responses to the most pressing challenges facing our economy today.
It is indeed a profound sense of purpose on my part, and I stand here with great optimism that today formalizes a partnership that I believe is a watershed moment for the professional landscape for our nation. And on behalf of the Council of BICA and the entire membership of Botswana Institute of Accountants, I am indeed honored to be present here today as part of a team that will be signing the memorandum of understanding that has been alluded to. Let us appreciate that this is not going to be a mere ceremony for signing. It is a launch of a strategic alliance built on shared vision, as earlier indicated, for a more resilient, ethical, and prosperous Botswana. From BICA's perspective, this partnership is a natural and necessary convergence of two pillars within Botswana's financial integrity space. And I guess I like what the managing director did point to, and indeed it's a marriage that points to common vision among the contracting parties and the dream to get something for the country, and indeed at the end leave a legacy that we would all be proud of. Indeed, BICA's mandate is derived from the Act of Parliament, as earlier alluded to regulate and advance accountancy profession. And we always recognize that this profession of accountants does not operate in a vacuum. To that extent, you would note that a significant number of our members are backbone in terms of banking and finance sectors. And they are internal auditors, as you might be aware, financial controllers, CFOs, risk managers who safeguard our financial institutions. This agreement, therefore, formalizes that intrinsic link that exists, and it moves from just it moves us from just operating in silos as institutions, but rather to be a collaborative force that would indeed take us far.
It's Movember, the month dedicated to raising awareness about men's health. Research shows that men are often reluctant to seek medical help, leading to an alarming rate of mental health issues, prostate cancer, and other diseases. Mr. Letlhogonolo Malebe said this campaign is crucial in encouraging men to prioritize their well-being. Growing a mustache this month, men can spark conversations about their health and help break down stigmas surrounding men's health issues. Movember focuses on conditions that often receive less public attention, like prostate cancer, testicular cancer, mental health, and suicide prevention. These are major health concerns affecting men worldwide, yet stigma and limited discussion often lead to late diagnosis or untreated conditions.
Movember is important more community because it has been set aside from the general male health, with major focus on prostate cancer, on testicular cancer, on mental health, and all other non-communicable diseases. So because research has shown lower health seeking behaviors, but that's why we are doing all these campaigns. We are offering free screening as well as diabetes. We are also doing screening for HIV and also testing part of it.
Okay.
We are raising awareness. We've also made an arrangement that the activities last week we had a tournament in the old stadium, the local soccer club, study social club. So I told them I got and support them as they gather to watch the game. We also sell the services for I think the most pressing issue is mental health, followed by because they are silent killers. You only get to realize in the last stages. In terms of mental health, right? Society have no experience and use and all those other things that you should converse mentally they are not upright.
Okay, then
we need to intensify our education, community health education. We also need to demystify mental health. Let us look at to have a positive look and having mental health does not necessarily mean for somebody's crazy. Men should take an active part in physical exercise.
On our international news, South African authorities faced heavy criticism Friday after they held more than 150 Palestinians, including a woman who is 9 months pregnant, on a plane for 12 hours due to complications with their travel documents. A pastor who was allowed to meet with the passengers while they were still stuck on the plane said the conditions aboard were terrible.
South African authorities are under fire after holding more than 150 Palestinians on a plane for 12 hours after they landed in Johannesburg on Thursday morning. Pastor Nigel Branken boarded the plane while the passengers were waiting to disembark.
People have got a right to apply for asylum here in South Africa. This is where they flew to. This is where they came to seek hope. This is where they've seen humanity. They've seen humanity in us as South Africans, as we have gone and fought. I'm so sorry. We've fought at the International Court of Justice for these people, and they came here because they believed in our humanity. And yet we've left them on the tarmac all day. Little babies, little children. Their hair was stuck to their head as the sweat was pouring down. I got into that plane. It was like a sauna on that plane.
The Palestinians arrived on a chartered plane after a stopover in Nairobi.
We have been surviving and of a war of 2 years where we have faced death on daily basis. We have been facing the starvation, the famine, and all of these things you have been heard about it. And we are lucky or not lucky to survive, but this is the situation. So we came from Gaza to South Africa. It was the first destination because we believe that it's a land of peace and it's a land of laws and it's a land of justice, and we could find a safe place for us and for our families.
The 153 passengers were allowed to leave the plane on Thursday night after South Africa's Ministry of Home Affairs intervened and a local NGO offered to accommodate them.
Angola celebrated the 50th anniversary of its independence from Portugal on Tuesday with a military parade in Rwanda. Soldiers, marching bands and tanks paraded through the capital's Republic Square to mark the occasion. before President Joao Lourenço addressed the nation from the stands of the Independent Memorial.
Angola celebrated the 50th anniversary of its independence from Portugal on Tuesday with a military parade in Rwanda. Soldiers, marching bands and tanks paraded through the capital's Republic Square to mark the occasion before President Joao Lourenço addressed the nation.
Fizemos uma caminhada difícil nestes 50 anos.
We've made a difficult journey in these 50 years in which we were forced to overcome obstacles and face complex situations in the context of the Cold War, in which we had to remain tenacious to preserve our independence and national sovereignty. We had barely just overcome the Portuguese colonialism that oppressed us and enslaved us for centuries. Angola declared independence from Portugal in 1975 at the end of a 13-year war. The country quickly entered a devastating civil war that ended only in 2002.
Aproveitemos esta oportunidade única para construirmos juntos.
We seized this unique opportunity to build together an inclusive society with equal opportunities for all citizens. The challenges are enormous and highly complex. We need to focus on actions and initiatives that contribute to solving the many problems that the country still faces.
Para a solução dos inúmeros problemas que o país ainda enfrenta.
After 50 years, despite progress in infrastructure and urban development, oil-rich Angola remains plagued by economic and social inequalities.
The Rwandan government said on Tuesday that it plans to build 296 new homes to house vulnerable survivors of the 1994 genocide. Over the course of 100 days in that year, terrorist Hutus murdered an estimated 1 million Tutsis and moderate Hutus. Thousands of survivors still live in torment, haunted by memories of the period during which as many as 10,000 people were killed daily and sexual violence was used as a weapon of war.
The Rwandan government says it plans to build 296 new homes to house vulnerable survivors of the 1994 genocide. Over the course of 100 days in that year, extremist Hutus murdered an estimated 1 million Tutsis and moderate Hutus. Thousands of survivors still live in torment, haunted by memories of that period, during which as many as 10,000 people were killed daily and sexual violence was used as a weapon of war. Kigali says it's set aside nearly $3.5 million for the houses, which will be built in the 2025 to 2026 fiscal year. The government says it's also exploring what it described as unconventional construction methods to reduce costs without compromising quality. This would include community participation, with residents contributing locally available material and labour. Once the method is approved, it says it'll help with the completion of the remaining 7,000 houses needed by survivors. Officials say beneficiaries will also receive psychological and social support before and after relocation. The Minister of National Unity and Civic Engagement says, however, that from now on survivors will no longer be treated as a separate category but will be included in the national housing framework alongside other vulnerable Rwandans.
On our sports news, Kylian Mbappe will appear at the Paris Labour Court on November 17 to make his case against former club PSG. Mbappe, who moved to Spanish giant Real Madrid as a free agent last year, argues that PSG owe him 55 million euros in unpaid salaries and bonuses. PSG insists that all obligations owed to the France captain were settled in accordance with the contract that he had with the club, and dispute which holds the significant implications for football started before Mbappe left to join Real Madrid. Thank you for watching Lesedi Television News. Good night.